Hey, it's Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Shall we go see who else in the chat?
Sure.
Beth Emily made it in first. Happy Tuesday. Happy to be awake for the live. Jane Marie, Lucy, My Little Homestead, Rose, Scanes, Gregory Kissel. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a good week. It's been a week. It's been a week. Mississippi Homestead just showed up too.
Aye.
So we can't begin to think where to start. Can you? Why don't you tell them about your week? Her week was honestly more eventful than mine was. Hers was way more eventful. Why don't you tell them about your week first?
Well, I went to work on Wednesday and then came home, rushed around, got everything packed, and headed to the sad, oh so sad state of California.
It's not the great state of California?
No, it's not. So sad. It is literally the state of every commercial break. There's something about hating Trump hating California, so we should hate him back. Not sure what the heck they're talking about there. Never heard that. And then, then it's also, since Medicaid is going to be stopped, then that's not a problem. California now is paying for California residents to have their own health care. So enjoy those taxes, people.
Well, a lot of
got to vote on it.
A lot of
coming up for a vote.
doing that.
Yeah, it's coming up for a vote.
You just didn't go out there to complain about California, did you?
Go out to California to complain about them?
Yeah,
no.
You just fly out there so you can see how bad it was.
No.
Why don't you tell them why you went out there?
Went out there for my grandma's celebration of life. And it was emotional. It was a good visit, but emotional. And I don't do so great with emotions. I kind of shut down a little bit and that kind of thing, but I handled it and it was good. And then not for free, yeah, for sure.
They're talking about Lynn. Lynn retired.
Oh, he did. Free. I'm free.
Yep.
And he'll be working harder now than ever. And then so that was interesting. But we had our celebration of life. It was amazing. The church was absolutely packed. I'm still laughing, and I go back. So they live streamed it, and so I can go back and I can watch it. And like, I realized that even though my father and my uncle and my cousins, like they're my dad's cousins, they're like all in their 80s, they still fight like 5-year-olds. And so, the weird part, I think they think it's funny. Like, it's totally their passion and love is to give you a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they tried doing it to me. Like, really, it was my dad more. And I don't think I understood that until after. And you're right, because I'm in the emotional portion of it. And I just like, there were some things that I just didn't get. And then I get home and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, because I'm out of it, right? And so pretty sad. I feel like, I don't know, my connection to the desert is gone.
So she was up in Yucca Valley, which is
Joshua Tree.
Or, I'm sorry, Joshua Tree, which is north of Palm Springs, like what?
It's up in the high desert.
Halfway up the mountain to 29 Palms?
Halfway up the mountain to 29 Palms? No, it is like right there. You got to come up. You got to go through Morongo Valley and then get up that.
But it's right on the edge
mountain.
Of the Mojave, and it is desert.
Oh, man. And it has changed. It's changed even more since you were out there.
Put a one in the chat if you've ever been to Palm Springs, Morongo Valley, Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, 29 Palms. Put a one in chat if you've ever been there before she tells this story. Because last time
and what year? A one and what year? What year were you there in Joshua Tree?
I'm pretty sure Lynn was in 29. So
he probably was
passing through there.
Yeah.
You know,
he probably was. He's the only one. But oh my gosh, it's changed. It was like the best way to explain it. Because I had cousin Steve in the car, and I was not Steve. I'm sorry, cousin Danny. And so I had cousin Danny in the car. I was driving him, and so we pull in, and like it was weird. My GPS had us going in a block, and he's like, "It's the church on the hill," and I'm like, there's so many hills and like which church, right? And so like, there's got to be something. So he puts it in his GPS. But as we're circling around, I'm seeing what's going on. So it used to be the drive-in in Yucca Valley was open. I guess it must not be open anymore. And the swap meets every Saturday, and I think on Sundays too, would be open. And so you go to the swap meet to sell your stuff. Not anymore. Now, every Saturday, apparently, it looks like it's a mess. There's people everywhere. It's kind of like a farmer's market on 29 Palms Highway. Imagine that. There's cars everywhere. There's like, when I pulled into Yucca Valley, I didn't realize that Yucca Valley and Joshua Tree, I don't think they merged. I think they're playing off of Joshua Tree. And so, but I had got out of Morongo Valley and I had to pull over because I thought I was lost. Like I didn't recognize anything. It was craziness. And so I'm like, oh, how do I get to the hotel? Oh, shoot, what hotel did I book? And then I was like, oh, I should not have stayed at a hotel. Hindsight 2020, a bunch of us cousins should have got together because Jason and Megan said they would have stayed. Peggy said she would have stayed. Ruthie, Aunt Linda, and we should have got an Airbnb and split it. You brought up that idea, but we already had the reservations. So, but we already had the reservations. So next time we know, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, no. So hindsight 2020, right? So we did it. We all would have been much more comfortable, I think, had we had done that, because the hotel sucked. It was terrible. Like what did I tell Danny?
It was run by a Jeet.
It was. And so I told my cousin Danny, that's where I was going with this. I said, it's kind of like a white trash yuppie collection. And he started laughing. He thought that was the funniest thing. And he didn't even question me on it. He totally knew what I was talking about. So, but anyway, it was good seeing everybody. And everybody's changed. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't believe it.
Bruce has never been further west than Spokane. Well, Spokane's further west than 29 Palms.
Right.
So way farther north.
Right. Well, it was really funny. And then cracked me up even more.
And it says next time Grandma's coming back.
Well, if I go out there, you know, my uncle still lives out there. I still have family out there. So if I have to go back for a funeral or something. And then it was interesting to me because I remember as a girl, as a young lady, when we went and did something special, if we stayed in somebody's parents' vacation home, if we were going somewhere nice like Palm Springs, something like that, we dressed nice. There was a dress code for the airplane. Your gut wasn't showing, you know, your belly wasn't showing, your boobs weren't showing. You were dressed conservative, you dressed nice. There was a dress code for it. Apparently those aren't the rules anymore.
It hasn't been like that for a long time.
But I did not expect what I saw. So as I was picking up my rental car, there were other kids there picking up a rental car, and we had to ride the shuttle together. And she started bragging about how her parents are snowbirds and they come to Palm Springs. So now the house is open. And so they're going down there to have a good time. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, this is not the image I would ever have of somebody's parents being snowbirds and then you going to stay. So either I'm incredibly old or I'm a snob. It could be both. I have no idea.
All I got is Palm Springs. Palm Springs has always had the best propagandists working for it. Because anytime I've been there, I have not been impressed. The only thing impressive about Palm Springs is the golf courses. The rest of the town is, except for maybe those houses up on the hill, you know,
those have even changed. Like they're not even. It used to be like, remember the big houses?
Well, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby and all those big stars used to.
There's houses all around them now. They're not isolated anymore.
Really. Yeah, it was. Last time we were there were shops on the main strip all boarded up.
I don't even know where the main strip is now, if that tells you anything.
Really?
Oh yeah. Hey, and then there were like Mexicans with carts, and it was fruit. We're not sure where the fruit comes from. Apparently the shuttle driver, his wife is from Mexico, and she swears it's ran by the cartel. The cartel's funding the fruit carts.
Probably.
And so I'm like trying to figure out how that works. Uncle Ron said he doesn't think so, but he's not sure how they keep the fruit fresh. So he said that those carts really aren't very good for that.
Beth Emily says you're not a snob, you're normal.
Right. Thank you. And so yeah, it was just really it was interesting. So I just I forgot that trailers are normal and it's not a big deal. And
Well, talking about the plane, I'm sorry. I was raised that you don't wander around town in your pajamas,
underwear, right?
In your pajamas,
right.
And
pajamas are considered underwear.
I saw people coming off the plane that deboarded before her, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's some people dressed.
Yeah, there were some of us, and it was funny because we're the ones that talk to each other.
Yeah,
nobody else talked to each other.
Palm Springs is all hype. Golf courses in Brown Desert,
right,
and a casino.
Yeah. I was surprised how many casinos were out there. I didn't go to any of them, but I gambled a little bit in the airport in Las Vegas because we were trying to kill time. Oh yeah, that was eventful.
Oh yeah, she went to Vegas too.
So I had a layover in Vegas.
Did you gamble? Everybody, that's what only thing people want to know is, did you gamble at the airport?
I did.
Did you win?
No, it was stupid. I should not have gambled. Like I won $5 and then I won another $2 and then I kept going and I'm like, okay,
so the truth comes out.
But it wasn't bad. Like, no.
This is why we don't go to the casino.
So I met a very nice woman in Palm Springs. We were both heading to Kansas City. She's from this area. And so she lives in Kansas. So we got to talking. Military wife, husband's a jet fighter, was a jet fighter. He's retired now. And so we were like, we had things in common. Mm-hmm. And so while we were in Las Vegas, so we said hello in Palm Springs, didn't really hang out. But then we had made a joke, hey, we'll play slots together when we get to Vegas. So we met up after the plane landed in Vegas. And
why'd you stop in Vegas?
It was a layover. Okay. I said that. And so then.
How long of a layover?
Well, it was only supposed to be 30 minutes. Our pilots walked off the plane. All the crew.
And this is why she had time to become friends with this lady that's local.
Hey, I'm glad because we had each other's backs. Like, yeah, go to the bathroom here, leave your stuff here. You need to go get something to drink. Go get something to drink. We're going to get on the plane. Then we had to figure out, was the flight going to get canceled? Maybe we needed to look for a hotel room. She's the one that told me about downloading the voucher, the form for all of the delays and that kind of thing. I still haven't done that. I need to get that done. I still have my tickets so that I can get that done. And then, but anyway, so she knew a lot about it and she was not very confident that we were going to get home. Thank God we did make it home. It was 5:00 in the morning, but we made it home.
Well, she was supposed to get in at 11:55 and then she was supposed to get in at 2.
Well, 12:55 and then 2.
No, it was 11:55 was when I was supposed to be there to pick you up the first time. And then it got pushed back to 2 because they had 2 hours worth of delays.
Then it was going to be 4.
No, you deboarded at 3:15.
So Lisa saw 4. Oh, and here's the other craziness. Like, I don't know what kind of secret strike they went on, but we literally had to stop on the tarmac. Dad thinks it was the taxiway. We had to stop on the taxiway because apparently they were all in such a hurry to get out of the airports that they left all of the equipment in the taxi lane. And that's a huge no-no. You don't do that. So we had to park while they got equipment out, could find people to do that. So hopefully nobody is flying this week or anytime soon.
They were canceling flights out of LAX today.
Yeah, if you're flying, be prepared. I would take a couple extra days off from work, that kind of thing, because you may not get home when you don't have time. I can't believe it. So government shutdowns. Ugh.
Well, she told me she was going to be late, and I managed to force myself to get some sleep. I got a couple of 2-hour stints in, but I left here at midnight to get up to the airport and be there. Actually,
oh gosh, you were there for a long time waiting for me.
It was about 12:30 when I left.
I'm sorry.
I got there too. You said 2:00.
It was supposed to be 2.
You didn't say anything about the plane being delayed on the tarmac.
Okay, so once that was
I was at the airport for an hour.
That was in Kansas City.
I know. I'm not complaining.
I couldn't get a hold of you.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying there wasn't anything like that. So it was all a shock. Nobody expected it. So, but it was really sweet.
there was another plane that pulled in. Luckily, those pilots had some flight hours left, and they agreed to take us back to Kansas City. So they literally got off of one plane, walked over, we cheered them on, clapped for them, screamed, hoot, hollered, and then thanked them profusely as we were walking on, and they got us home safely. So it was good.
And then I come into the story after waiting at the airport. And if you've ever been to KCI, they rebuilt the terminal. They tore down. They used to have 3 separate terminals. They tore them down and they built a new one. I don't know what it's like on the other side of TSA, but getting in and out of the airport is immensely easier now.
On the other side of TSA, it's a hike.
Yeah, most hike.
It's a hike.
They don't have the
Palm Springs. It's not.
They don't have the little.
If you can get on it.
If you can get on it.
Like on my way out to Palm Springs, I could not get on it. It was crowded. There were just so many people.
Oh.
On our way out, with Lisa and I got on it. We were like hauling butt trying to get out. Her husband was waiting. He needed to be to work at 7. Garen was waiting. He needed to be to work at 8. So we were trying to get out of the airport as fast as we could to get our luggage and get in the car to get you guys home. We didn't
get back to the house at 4:15, and I had to.
No, it was 5.
No, it was 4. It was 4:15.
Well, I don't know. My time's off.
But I didn't get any sleep, and yesterday was rough. Man. But we survived.
We survived.
You didn't leave anything in California that you need here, and
well, I did.
Made it safe. Well, yeah.
Well, not that I had to have,
right?
But I will have to make one more trip out to California. So we're going to plan a girls' trip. And I think Skane's girl is going to come with me, and we're going to go out there and get everything.
Does Skane's know this?
Yeah.
She's on this.
She's the one that offered. Yeah. She offered to do it. Okay. I mean, if I need to do it myself, I will.
No, you don't need to drive it yourself.
Well, I already talked to Lisa. So she knows I'm going to go out there in the spring. I got to wait for the snow to pass and all that, because there's some places we got to go through, Flagstaff, all that's going to have snow. So I really don't want to hit that. Not in a truck and a trailer. Because I am going to need a trailer. We're going to have to get the enclosed trailer, though, because that I'm not putting that furniture.
Because her son's fiance made it back to South Carolina today after a work trip to San Francisco. She was worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the flights are just getting more and more messed up because
they're crazy.
Everything that's going on.
Yeah.
This Palm Springs airport is kind of cool. Most gate terminals are open air, the roof, but no walls.
Yeah, so the Palm Springs airport, I was really shocked. I went through TSA, it was really short. And then I was really confused after, because walking in, I didn't really notice, because I was in a hurry. I had to get to the rental car and all that. Going out, so as I was going into the gates and that kind of thing, I noticed what was happening. I get through TSA and there's like glass doors that you have to walk through. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not going through TSA again. I already did this. I'm not going to do it again. Wait, am I supposed to walk out there? And I'm looking and there's signs that says, get to the gates. You have to go out here. And I'm like, oh, so then I go outside and then silly me, I'm like, maybe I can have a cigarette. And so I was looking, everywhere is plastered, no smoking.
It's California. They're not going to let you smoke.
No, you can't smoke in California.
You don't have the freedom to.
No, you can't do nothing you're not invited to do. And then the planes were late, of course. So there was like this little bar outside, super cute. And they had little seats so I could sit comfortably in. So I went and sat down. And then they had a mango beer. And I was like, oh, I know I like that. So I'll have a mango beer.
Well, tell them how much you paid
But it doesn't matter. And nobody wants to know.
It was enough.
Nobody wants to know.
It was enough that you sent me a picture of the menu.
What I was sending you was the Sierra Nevada. Because had I known that they carried it, I would have brought you some Sierra Nevada. I could have checked it.
Why? They sell Sierra Nevada here.
Oh, I can't ever find it for you. Yeah. Well, anyway, so I'm sitting down playing my game and sipping on my beer and all that. And slowly I'm hearing around me, everyone's getting louder and louder. Other people are telling stories that they probably shouldn't have. It was too public. And so they were like TMI and that kind of thing. And bartender said, do you need anything else? And I'm like, nope, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just going to sip on my beer and play my game. And I looked at her and said, but let me ask you this. Is it always like this here? And she looked at me and she said, always. And I said, so this isn't just because of a flight delay. Like literally the bartenders were having to ask people if they needed help getting to their gate. And I knew this was not a good thing. Like the one person I knew, she was on the same flight to Las Vegas that I was on, and Las Vegas was my layover. And I heard how she was talking and what she was doing, and she almost did miss her flight. She went back to the gate and passed out. And so we're lining up to go, and she should have already been on the plane. And so that was very interesting. I'm like, okay. So another thing, you just didn't drink like that before you got on an airplane. You saved it for the flight. You had one drink, and then you got off and then went and did whatever you wanted to do. You didn't get inebriated and get on an airplane. Like I didn't even think they allowed that. I wasn't sure they were going to let them on the plane, but they did.
I may have been a little tipsy whenever I boarded the flight in Phoenix to head to Okinawa.
No, she wasn't tipsy. She was overboard.
And I was drunk. We were drinking. We were set. Yeah. A couple of buddies of mine drove me to Phoenix, and we sat in the bar for about an hour beforehand.
And like I kind of got where she was. She was just having some hard feelings. So I she had issues with her daughter and that kind of thing, and so I get it. But at the same time, you just don't do that. But anyway, so on the positive side of the trip, I got to hang out with grandbaby number 2. Mm-hmm. And so that was super cool. She's such a neat girl. And I was super proud of her. Nobody complained about her. And she's just a happy girl.
Did they complain about other children?
I did. There's some of us that did. Yeah. And my children and my grandchildren were very well behaved. So, and she drew me some pictures. And so I've got some nice pictures, and she drew a portrait of her and I together. I'd show it to you, but it was drawn by a 4-year-old. So
it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's beautiful. Linda had to remind her to go ahead and put hair on both of us because we were bald. So, but yeah, no, it's super cute. And then I don't know, it was sad going through grandma's stuff. It's sad but good, memories and that kind of thing. But we're all at that age where, especially like my dad made the comment best, and Ryan made it. Everybody was saying it. They're trying to downsize, not upsize. Right. And so
you're not trying to downsize.
No, I'm trying to get my homestead together. So we got a bunkhouse. We've got all this, the guest bedroom, that kind of thing. I've got a possible, if it doesn't go anywhere, I tell Dad, I said, if somebody needs it, then give it to them. If not, I'm going to go ahead and take it. So I've got my old day bed from when I was a kid, and it's got a trundle. So that's going to go in the office. The couch will go in the living room in the back. And then that way we've got 2 beds in there. And then I got the 2 twin beds, the brass beds out. You remember those from the guest bedroom in grandma's. And so I'm getting those, and we're going to put those in the second bedroom. So we got 2 beds there. So everybody's good. So we'll have plenty of space for everyone. We don't have to listen to anybody complain. We did realize that even though you're related, sharing a room is probably not always the best thing. Although I think Danny and Ryan had a really fun time. Our son-in-law thought they were sleeping together because they kept talking about 3 feet distance until he saw the twin beds. And then he was like, oh, they were in separate beds. And Ryan said, yes, even though we were in separate beds, you could still hear everything from the other person. And so I don't know, you get old people together and they make special sounds at night, I guess. So that's why I get a hotel. But yeah, so it was good. And then,
legal potty.
We went through pictures, and the pictures were great. I was laughing. One of the pictures is, the snotty kids. And so Johnny was in there, Uncle John was in there, and Margaret and Catherine and Faye, Reen and Grandma. And so we're just looking at everybody, and all of a sudden Garen points at, it was my Aunt Margaret.
Garen.
I said, Garen points at Aunt Margaret. You did in that picture. And he said, that looks exactly like Eliza.
Oh, when you brought it home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, because I was showing him the pictures that I brought home, and then pulled a picture of would be my great grandpa Al Kyer, and very strong resemblance. Like Ian still looks like Aaron's family, but there's very strong resemblance when he was younger of what great grandpa Elkire looked like. So very interesting to see. Like we don't change, we stay the same and just duplicate, I guess, over and over. So it was fun. Very, very fun. Oh, I got to see Dad's yearbook. Grandma kept some stuff, and I got to see Linda and Dad.
1900.
Stop it. And so I got to see when they were in 7th grade what they looked like as they were 7th grade and 6th grade and 7th grade boyfriend and girlfriend. So it was fun. It was just fun to go through stuff. And then we thought all of the Howard Pierce pieces were either sold, given away, or had shattered from the earthquakes out there. And there were still some pieces together. So I got those, and that was fun.
Tell them who Howard Pierce is. Most people don't know who
Howard Pierce is a famous ceramic artist. And he lived up in Joshua Tree. He was up on the mountain just behind Grandma's house. And his wife and Grandma quilted together and played bridge together and all of that. So I grew up knowing him, and we would go into his studio. He had his art studio, and he had this big picture pane window. And some would call it like a bay window. And so he would just open it up. There was no screen, and he kept peanuts in there. And so all of the roadrunners, hummingbirds, chipmunks, all of that, they would come in, and the chipmunks would literally sit at the windowsill, and I could just feed them peanuts all day long. And so that's what I did. Why Howard, I called him Uncle Howard, but while Howard was doing all of his artwork, I was feeding the animals. So he always kept me plenty of peanuts in there.
There's a couple of
But
pieces.
Yeah, there's a quail there.
No, that's a dove.
No, that's a quail. Oh,
that's the morning.
Oh,
dove.
is that the
That's
dove?
the
Okay.
dove.
All right. Oh, the other one's the quail.
And here's the.
Yeah, that's the coyote. Yeah. And then there's some roadrunners and some other stuff.
We
And
still got one piece out of that. The monks. There were like 3 monks.
Those were quail, weren't they?
No, they were monks. They were figures, robed figures, and they were supposed to be monks or something. But they were made out of ashes from Mount St. Helens.
Oh, you're talking about Mother Mary. I have 2 of those.
Mother Mary. Well,
Yeah,
one
I
of
have
them,
2
one
of
of them
them.
got broke. One of them fell off the mantle at the house in Sugarland.
Oh, that's right. And I got Mom's. I have
Oh, is that
Mom's.
why you got-
That's why I have one. Yes, that's right.
He's very famous.
Yeah.
He's
He
like the
did-
Frank Lloyd Wright of
Mhm.
ceramics.
The college on the high desert, Joshua Tree, the community college, he actually did the piece. I do believe that he wasn't commissioned for it. I think he just donated it. So the big statue there, Howard Pierce did, and I think he did for the High Desert Hospital as well. But there's even a book out, which I got to try to find our book. I need
It's
to
here,
order
actually.
one. And so
Gregory, then it's Howard Pierce.
Pierce, Peirce.
And I will admit, they're nice figurines. They're very nice.
He's passed away now, so his daughter is running a lot of the publishing and that kind of thing.
He's been gone for.
He's been
40,
years
50
and
years
years.
now.
No, I'm 53. No, he has.
He died
not.
in the 90s, didn't he?
No.
Oh,
When did? Well, yes. Grandpa passed away in 92, and so I believe Howard passed away after Grandpa. So
Well, I
you're
remember that
possibly right,
he
late
pa-
90s.
he was
But that
passed-
wasn't 50 years ago.
He'd passed
25
almost.
years ago.
He passed away.
2025.
He passed away before the last time we were out there.
I think he had just passed away.
That was 15 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not sure when he passed. Actually, no. I might have been 22, 23 when he passed, because that's when the book came out, and his daughter was running the publishing on that. And that was done in his memory. So that was a lot of fun. So you might be right. It might have been early 90s. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and just to get those memories back and all of that. So it was good. It was good. I had good times on the desert. Yeah.
I stayed here. I watched the house.
You would have been miserable if you
Took
came.
care of the- Well, I got to hear.
There were so many people,
I got to hear her emotional dumps every night when she called,
and I appreciate
and
you
in the
doing
mornings
that.
too. Sometimes
You called me, to be
on
fair.
at least one day.
You called me.
No, I called you because our connection was.
Oh, right. Ian, yeah.
Said he passed in '94.
94. Yeah, that'd be about right.
So 31 years
after
ago.
Grandpa passed. Yeah. And so yeah, he was a good man, very special man.
I took care of the house. If you saw the short of the zucchini and stuff, it's still sitting in the bucket out on the porch because there's not enough room in there for it.
Yeah, so
there's huge. I mean, seriously, they're that big around somewhere.
Yeah, I saw. And then here's another funny part. So Johnny Horton's biography book is laying on the table.
Tell me Johnny Horton is.
Johnny Horton is a country music singer from the 50s, and he is related. My grandmother and Johnny were cousins, and so Johnny's book was sitting on the table, and I had seen it, but it took me a couple days to find it. And I grabbed it and I started looking at it, and I'm like, is this up for grabs? And everybody's like, oh, Jeff got those as gifts for everybody. And I'm like, oh, are there supposed to be CDs? The CDs have disappeared. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows where the CDs are. It came with 4 in the collection. And so I was like, well, that's a bummer. And I'm thinking, did Aunt Margaret come back and grab all of these? You know, because she took a lot of stuff. And but I think he gave those to him after Aunt Margaret passed. And so they're like, well, Jeff may want it back, so don't take it. So I left it alone. So I was talking to Jeff at the funeral, and I said, for the celebration of life. And I said, hey, Jeff, are you going to want that book back? I'd like to take the book. And Dad was going through the details with me. And he's like, Johnny Horton was not born and raised in Texas. And he was not. He's an East LA guy. And Dad was like,
that's okay. Now I know who we're talking about.
Yeah. The battle.
Okay.
Yep. North to Alaska. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. And yep. Battle in New Orleans. And so it was really funny because he said, no, you take the book. You can have the book. Well, I didn't realize the book went to the church. I thought the book was still at Grandma's. And so I had been searching all night for the book. Oh, yeah, we found it. Jeff is an Indian giver and gave it to Joshua because Joshua's phone apparently is loaded with all of his music. Oh. So now they felt like maybe some of the other kids should have it. It's fine. I'll order my own and get it. I know the details. I did not have time to go through the book and correct the errors of it.
On an interesting side note, her maternal grandfather was a garage band. Sometimes
I wouldn't call him garage band.
He did some studio work too, right?
So it just so happens that my dad's family is very musical. In fact, my Aunt Bonnie Jean.
No, we're not talking about your dad's family. We're talking about your.
That's my dad's family. Bonnie Jean. So Bonnie Jean and them, they were musicians. And then Aunt Violet, Grandpa, all of them had to play. Grandpa played violin. And then my grandfather on my mom's side, he also played music and he had a band and they would get together. Well, my mom's dad had a bedroom he had turned into a studio, and that was his music. Well, Johnny Horton, Johnny Cash, Dad, everybody.
I was gonna tell him the story.
Like Dad, Papa.
When he passed away, we went through and we found recordings on
all the 8mm
reel-to-reel tapes of them doing garage band jam sessions in this little tiny studio, and Johnny Cash is on it. And Johnny Horton's on it, and I didn't realize he was on it until I started hearing him talking and singing. I was like, "That's Johnny Cash."
The guy that converted the film for me wanted to buy the original film, and I wouldn't sell it to him. I still have the original film, and I'm going to keep it. It's right where it's supposed to be. It's with family. It shouldn't go anywhere else.
Hopefully, it's still good.
But yeah.
Yeah, it is. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I have a lot of history with music. I can't sing worth a damn, and I can't play an instrument. My kids are extremely talented. Both of them can sing. Both of them can play very, very well. And I just didn't. I never picked up the music.
Ian doesn't sing. Ian plays music.
Ian sings. He didn't do it professionally. He played for show choir. He was in the band and show choir, and he was in the band. So, but yeah, no, my kids are extremely talented. So I'm happy with that.
So if you don't,
family.
If you don't know what show choir is, there are 168 competitive show choir, high school show choirs in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine like the shows you see on cruise ships and, like variety show type of things. Imagine that type of production. Very talented kids, very talented kids. But I will say this, it's the only place you can go and see a gay cowboy, a midget, and a transvestite all up on stage, free-forming music and dance. Yes. It's the if
show choir is all inclusive.
If I'm going to explain what the experience is like going to a competitive high school show choir, imagine the smell of angst and Axe body spray. Teenage angst and Axe body spray. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
I give them crap. I give my kids crap for being in show choir. A lot of really talented kids, and a lot. In fact, our daughter. You've probably heard me tell the story. Just on the reputation of the show choir, the choir director at Colorado University in Boulder called her at school and offered her a scholarship.
And she turned it down.
No, that's another part. Let's not talk.
We don't talk about that.
Let's talk about the proud part, not the part that irritates.
Yeah. So, but So it was a lot of fun. I'm glad to come from a musical background, and I'm glad that we pass that to our children and our grandchildren. So very, very happy. Just very, very sad that Hollywood at the time in the 50s decided that they needed a cowboy, and only cowboys came from Texas. Now, any of you that have been in California, there were cowboys everywhere, still are. So,
Glenn, I was never in show choir. I was in band. But I was not.
Military Academy didn't have show choir, did they?
No, we didn't have any.
You were
choir.
just band,
Just band.
Yeah.
And it was a military band. It was not like a normal high school band.
It was a military band. They were stern. It was more machismo.
We marched better than all the high school bands in the area. So when we went to parade, they at these county parade, the fair parades and the summer parade, 4th of July parades, and all that stuff, we could not compete. They would not allow us to compete against the other bands because our marching was so much better than everybody else. And it's it's because we practiced constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, every day we marched. So it wasn't,
The one regret that I have, and hopefully Skeins will be with me, and she's mischievous, so she'll do it for me. There's a cactus in Grandma's backyard that's beautiful, and I wanted a trim of that, but I wasn't sure I could get it through TSA. You know how California is. Can't take anything in, can't take anything out. And then, so I want trimming of that. And then the apple cactus. And so I wanted some trimmings of that. Nobody would cut it for me. And then I was afraid to do it because, one, I'm broken, so I can't run if I get caught, right? Ryan's like, just drive around. They're all over the monument. Well, then I'm committing a federal crime. You can't take things out of the monument.
Before.
You know what? I have more to lose now. So I'm like, okay, that's a federal crime. We're not doing that. He's like, just go up the hill. And I know up the hill is all private property because that was Howard's place up there. And so I'm like, we're not going to do that. and then I don't know. Anyway, I don't have my cactus, so I'll get it. I'll get it next time we're out there. But
so the whole time she was gone, it rained. Well, almost the whole time. I did not get anything accomplished outside that I wanted to get accomplished. And then
there's snow.
Wednesday,
there's snow in California.
Wednesday, I get home from work and I hit the button on the passenger side window and it went down and it wouldn't come up. And so it finally died. And so I mail ordered the part. I had to replace the motor and everything, and it still wouldn't work. And apparently whenever it broke, it popped the circuit breaker, which is fine. So I had to figure that out. I'm learning. That's a 2006, but they put a 2003 circuit box under the.
It's a 2006.
It's a 2006, but there's a 2003 circuit box underneath that does not look like anything like the diagram in the owner's manual.
So we need a new circuit box. Possibly?
No, it works. Once I figured out what
it
model,
was.
what year it's from.
Yeah.
I was able to take care of it, but I got
Did you
that
see
fixed.
that? Susie was in marching band and choir. Her family has a lot of musical talent.
So there's nothing wrong with being a band geek.
No, there's nothing. And so, I think it keeps everybody out of trouble. Kind of.
The only thing I did,
sort of annoying.
The only thing I did in band that I really enjoy. I was in band because it was better than being one of the line companies at school.
Mm.
We got to travel a lot, and we got we didn't have to be in the do a lot of the BS that the line companies had to do. But we worked hard. We worked extremely hard. The only thing I did that I really enjoyed was jazz band.
So son of Hacks being a smart ass. So him and my son are around the same age. Park Hill South. At one point that was true. Pleasant Hill Show Choir, Pleasant Hill Band, when they were together. And so when that would have been, when did Ian graduate?
How many
2011.
How many band geeks are in here? So, I've found 3 already.
Between 2007 and 2011, nobody could beat Pleasant Hill. Like, they were known for that. And we went out to California, and had California not have had so much money, we would have won. And because it was about production and all that stuff as well. We went up to Nebraska. Remember Omaha, Nebraska?
What was the one in California? They competed against Hollywood High School, and their show was done,
Alice in Wonderland.
The show was done by the guy that
wrote the Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that did all the choreography in the Johnny Depp Alice in Wonderland movie that came out.
And the kids, one of the kids that was in there, the director's son. Yeah. And so, I mean, it was just craziness. So
they were
well,
frankly, in that competition, they were a little bit outclassed.
Yes. And not outclassed. I think there was just more money there, but because they got a lot of compliments on their behavior and all of that. So then we came back, and then Dollins bought a really nice, had sets and costumes and all of that. And it was I think it was called the Circus, something like that. And we went up to Nebraska with that show and got disqualified because they said it was too promiscuous, which is garbage. Somebody complained. I heard the girls in the bathroom talking and gossiping from other schools. And so we got disqualified. You know what ended up happening? The next year, she sold the show. Oklahoma bought it, a school in Oklahoma, and they won nationals. We were sure that show was going to take us to nationals.
Well, it wasn't a travel year. That's why they didn't go to nationals that year. It wasn't.
No, it was a travel year.
No, the travel.
It was a travel year. We got disqualified in Omaha. That's why we couldn't. That's why we couldn't go. That's why it didn't get us to nationals.
It was a good show. It's out online. Go look up Pleasant Hill Show Choir, 2010. She was a junior, right?
Was she a junior?
Yeah.
Or was she?
She was a sophomore. She was a sophomore that year.
So that would have been, she graduated in 15. So 14, 12. 13 would have been 2013, somewhere there.
It was a good show. The kids did a really good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I spent all weekend doing that. And then the other big thing, aside from the rain, it rained constantly. I hate it when it rains here. Seriously, we've had like 6 inches
mud,
of rain, and it's the animal pen is just
people in Omaha are weird. Yeah, sore losers, Omaha.
See, well, look at that. We got another one. Who's that?
Who's
Rosie?
What?
Rosie played woodwind. Iowa guy here, breathe if you hate Nebraska.
Right. I don't hate Nebraska. One of my favorite stores is up there.
So my big news was I got an interview for the planning committee, one of the planning committee positions. So I had my interview on Monday, and I was going to go get feed afterwards. So I took the entire
Pleasant Hill, Missouri,
Yeah, Pleasant Hill, Missouri. So I took the entire afternoon off because I was going to go get feed, and it was raining, so I couldn't go get feed. But I'm heading up there, and I'm like cutting it kind of short, and I hear this squeal coming from the engine. And then all of a sudden, I start smelling smoke.
What? You didn't tell me all that.
Yeah, I did. It's right when I was getting up to 16. But it came from the heater. I had the heater on, and when I turned it off, the squealing stopped, and it still smelled the smoke. I pulled into the parking lot at the courthouse, and I opened up the hood, and the clutch for the air compressor or for the compressor is smoking. So it locked up, and it when it was engaged, it wasn't, the pulley wasn't spinning.
Now I know why you blew the interview. He didn't blow it. He sabotaged it.
No, I didn't.
He sabotaged it.
No, I didn't say. I was just decided I was going to be truthful. Anyway, so I dealt with that. I got the part today. I'm going to try to fix that this weekend if it ever stops raining. But so I get this interview, and I was only in there for about 5 minutes. They had me slated for 15, but like they were running through people really quick because Doug was in front of me, and he wasn't in there very long. And I got done at about 1:30, and by 3:15 they had sent me an email saying they were going with somebody else. And her and I were talking about it, and I started reflecting on what all was asked and what all was said, and I was like, maybe some of the stuff I said was a little too straightforward to him, because I was like,
well, what? Because I missed some of the interview. And so I asked him, like, what exactly happened in there? And he started telling me what happened. And I go, no, you're the wrong candidate. They want a yes man. A yes man is what they want.
Well, in no particular order, I told them that I pointed out that the county budget had doubled in the last 10 years, but the population had only grown by about 1,000. Hillside
the mixed gender Hillside Singers and Hill Sound. So so the mixed gender is actually female and male. No, they're not new. That's actually female and male together. Those would be what you would consider your oh my gosh. You have
18.
You're 18, but it's more than that. You've got a JV and that kind of thing, but they're not JV. They're going to be the others. And then Hill Sound is all girls. Hilltop Harmony is also, I think Hilltop Harmony, there are boys, I thought. Maybe I got it backwards.
Those are the freshmen.
But those are the freshmen, right?
But,
so you want the varsity one. You want to be looking at the Hillside Singers.
Yeah. So anyway, I told them, I pointed out that they had doubled the budget, but the county hadn't grown. So that was a problem. They asked me what I would do to make it easier for new home builders. I say, deregulate. I flat out told them, I said, my starting position is the only thing that should be permitted in the county is septic, and anything that's going to upset, anything that poses could pose a problem for neighboring properties. Everything else should be legal, and the county shouldn't be involved.
You see what Lynn says? Telling the truth in a political job? Yeah, not what they want to hear.
Yeah. I did everything but call them jackasses. I really had to bite my tongue. They asked me about the county lawyer, and I'm trying to formulate my answer. And the only thing that's running through my head is, don't tell him he's an asshole. Don't tell him he's an asshole. Don't tell him he's an asshole. Because I did. The dude's a douche. He's a complete douche. And
a little bitterness going on there.
No, not bitterness. It's just he's
some anger.
He is a stereotypical weasel lawyer.
Yes, that's much better said.
No, but yes. They knew what I meant.
Okay.
But I did not purposely tank myself, but I
subconsciously, maybe
subconsciously, maybe, well, and I was debating that. Do I go in there and do I lie? Do I tell them what they want to hear?
I totally would have. And then game on once you're at the table.
But all the questions were geared towards weeding out people that would not be a quiet yes man.
Right.
It was completely obvious. Once I sat back and started really thinking about it, they were handpicking people that will ram their agendas through.
The really weird part is they're going to have to get more applicants, because there were only 4 people that applied.
No,
there's 3 positions. I thought you said there were only 4 interviews.
There were 4. That doesn't mean there were only 4 that applied.
Oh, okay. So maybe
I don't know how many applied. I don't know how many applied, but I'm glad I didn't get it, because I don't need the hassles. Had I gotten on there, I would have stayed true to my beliefs, and that would have not been what they wanted. So it's probably best in retrospect, it's best that I didn't get it because it would have.
They'd have come and lynched us. We'd have been lynched and they'd have burned our house.
They would have removed me after 2 or 3 meetings anyway.
Yeah, the Steep advisors did
the county commissioners. Only 2 of the county commissioners did the thing, and it's very interesting. I've noticed that Lisa Gerhardt, the 3rd commissioner, there's 3 commissioners.
She's trying to remove herself.
Well, she doesn't show up in a lot of, anytime they're doing a lot of commissioner stuff, she's not there.
Well, she's in charge of Treasury, so she doesn't have time to do all that. Well, here's what I'm saying, Linda Gerhardt, you shouldn't have ran for the position.
Well, I don't know.
I can think of somebody much better who could have been in that position and been at all the meetings.
But so it was interesting. It was my first foray into county politics and probably my last. I'll still continue to be a thorn in their sides whenever I can. I wrote a letter to the editor about something that was said in this interview. Put her down.
I did several times. I
wrote a letter to the editor because the county commissioner flat out said, the reason we do permits is so we can get the buildings on the tax roll. Period. Stop. Nothing else. He didn't add anything else to it.
Dumb.
And it gave me pause. And the more I thought about it, I was like, every other place we've lived, the permitting system was to ensure that code enforcement took place. Right. And I'm not for codes, but that's what it was always been about. And the tax was part of it, but all this other stuff came into the conversation. The only thing they cared about was the tax roll. And I started thinking about it. And this is a trend with these commissioners and former commissioners. The former commissioners pushing this solar hard. He's been caught having lunch with the representatives for the solar company. And then he gets in there and advocates for it.
Right.
And the other 2, one of them, well, the one said the only reason they permit is to get on the tax roll. And the other one,
Keith Kelly said that, right?
Yeah, Keith Kelly said that.
It's important you make sure that everybody knows Keith Kelly said that. So we have a lot of people from this area that watch our channel, and they don't comment.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
they have to vote.
And Mark Pruitt, I pointed out that Mark Pruitt made a comment back during the mill levy debate that people's opinions on social media were blah blah blah.
Right?
It basically didn't matter. And then the one that's pushing the solar made a comment in a meeting a year and a half ago. It was before the last election. Before he get voted out, or did he quit? He quit.
Which one?
Dan Brenner.
Oh no, he got voted out.
He got voted out. Anyway,
Linda Gerhardt took his position. Okay. That's the one that Matt ran for.
Anyway, he made a comment. The question came up in a commissioners meeting. What if somebody owns a generational farm and they can't pay the new mill levy because this guy, without missing a beat and not even caring, well, then they should sell some of their property off.
I confronted him on that. There's video out there on that.
Well, and if you want to see my interview, go out to Jack's was it JC Community Reporter YouTube channel. One of the community members, she goes up there every time there's a meeting and videotapes it. So the meeting's out there. You can see not only my interview but everybody else's interview. I don't know if she's posted it yet though. But
it's only Tuesday, so probably not.
But yeah, all they care about. They're running up the finances.
I'm going to take the dogs outside.
They're running up the budget on the county, and all they care about is money. Everything they do is geared towards putting money into the county coffers. Yeah. Well, Gregory, yes, money always comes into the equation, but we live in Cass County, Missouri, and theirs was about code enforcement. That was the main thing that they were worried about when you get in the permit, because that started the process of inspection. Oh, excuse me. Could you give me some water before you go out?
Yeah.
It started the process of inspections and ensuring safety. Excuse me. So anyway, I wrote this letter to the editor and I posted it out there because I wanted some water's fine. I wanted to make sure that my citations were correct. And I got pushback from one of the community members making the comment that I shouldn't send the letter to the editor because it will give them ideas about code enforcement and stuff. And I'm not really quite sure how to respond to the community member, because it's if you think that they haven't thought about code enforcement and they're not trying to figure out a way to get it in place without losing their heads,
you're wrong.
Yeah, they've thought about it. You know, so I'm gonna wait. I'm still gonna post this. I'm still gonna post this to the editor, but I'm just gonna wait a little bit until I get more feedback, because I still don't know if my citations are right. But yeah, it was just the pearl clutching goes on sometimes is frustrating, you know. And it's one thing, guys, listen, in cases like this, it's one thing about being prudent. It's another thing about being a Nancy, right? And sometimes people just jump over that line and don't even realize it, in my opinion. And I'm sure that somebody could point at me and say that I've been a Nancy on certain things too. I'm positive. Okay, Gregory says, I had a banker once tell me that if you don't like paying property taxes, don't own the land. Well, you know what? That banker has no problem with theft, Gregory. And the next time anybody says anything like that, you need to look them straight in the eye and say taxation is theft. And unless they can agree on that fact, on the fact that taking somebody's property away from them with the threat of violence, we had this conversation last week. Unless we can come to an agreement on that fact, that base level fact right there, we can't come to agreement on anything else, because people like that will always find a reason to take somebody else's stuff. You know, I said it before. Just because they have the ability to steal it from you does not mean that your ownership has changed. There are no U.S. states that completely eliminate property taxes. Every state imposes some form of property tax, although rates vary significantly. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But you know, the ones, I would not mind property taxes so much if they didn't tax everything else. You know, that's one thing. Florida has no income tax, but they've got property taxes, you know, so it's a matter of how much stealing you're willing to put up with at this point. And I guarantee you that the only reason why the commissioners of this county do not impose more onerous taxes and stuff on people is because they have to. There's only like 13,000 plus people in this county, and so it's a pretty small community, and they have to live with this. You know, if you're living in Johnson County, Kansas, where the population is 330,000, you can afford to be a tax and spend liberal because you're not going to run into your constituents all the time. Here, if you take a trip into town, you're running into somebody that's one of your constituents, and they're probably going to say something to you. Nancy's Karens, I'll think they're intellectual and moody, morally superior. You're a rube idiot if you disagree. Well, yeah, this is true. Now, I won't go that far. I will not go that far with the person I was talking about, the community member, because he's a pretty stand-up guy. It's just this is kind of took me by surprise because it doesn't sound like something he would say. Florida property taxes are high. This is true. Again, I don't care high, low, it's still theft, right? And I'll even agree that there's some level of taxation that is probably justified. You know, at some level, there's probably some level that's justifiable. But for the most part, for a lot of it, there's no reason why I should be paying 40 to 52 cents on the dollar of every dollar that I make in taxes. You know, and if you look at it realistically, you pay about 95% of your dollar ends up going into taxes at some point. You know, if you just take the entire lifespan of your dollar, it gets eaten up by the federal government or the state government or the county government or the town government. It really does. You know, but hey, this is why we get involved in politics, right, guys? This is why, even if we're not running for an office, we're not volunteering for a position, we still go out and we vote, and we still make sure that we're educated, because that's the only way that we can change things, is by being involved. Gregory says he will send you a link on school bonds and taxes on how property taxes are stealing your property. Our payment, one payment at a time. Oh yeah. Yeah, go ahead and send it. But I agree 100%.
Who's sending that?
Gregory. Hack slash taxation is theft. Yes. Hashtag tariffs are not taxes. Well, and that's the anti-tariff people like to sell them as being taxes because they know that most people hate taxes.
Are you talking politics?
No, this is just stuff they're popping up, and we were talking about the stuff I said to them.
Yeah, but don't be the idiot. And yeah, I said it. Don't be the idiot that says taxation is theft, and then when you get a job, and they offer you less money for cash under the table, say, "But wait a minute."
We'll get my property tax bill next week. Expecting it to
ours too.
I can't read that. My glasses are expected to be 11K to 12. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Northeast Florida. Man.
Dang.
Ours are about $400 or $500 higher than they were in Missouri.
Yeah. We're about
on a less valuable property.
Would we pay like $3,200 last year?
No, we
like
paid
that?
25.
No, it was more than that.
No, it wasn't. It was 20. I paid it. It was 2,500.
You paid it. I think I paid it.
No, I put the money together out of my paycheck. And
got it. You got it written down.
I wrote the check. I didn't write a check because we don't write checks anymore.
I do. I write checks. I get a counter check and I write it so that I got proof that it's paid.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was her being gone was okay. I did a little cleaning. I started making wine. I did some shorts. I did not do a full video on making wine, but I did some shorts. They sent an entire carboy, a 5-gallon carboy home with a
plus some
homemade apple cider in it, and they wanted it turned into wine. And I did my best praying over it, but I don't have that power. There's only one person, one man in the history of the world that had that power. But anyway, so I started doing that, and I think it's going to turn out pretty good. One thing I did figure out was they needed to back sweeten it because it was just it didn't taste like the cider that I make, and I don't know. The only thing I figure is the different type of apples.
Those apples should have been fine. Well, so we gave some apples, and then we usually make apple cider with that. But I do believe other apples were put in there, so it depends on what tree they had. Yeah, that's not going to work out well.
But once I had to put sugar in it to get food for the yeast, and I tasted it, and it tasted like the cider that I usually make, and it was the type of apples that were used, and it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad. They put a little cinnamon in it. It's really good.
It's just some apples are sweeter than others,
right?
And so you got to choose your apples carefully when making cider. You want them sweet.
No winter bids will be open before their time. Yeah, I need to make some videos. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm kind of up in the air on where the channel is going to go. I know I promised the fascism video last week. I decided that I am not going to run that series. Simple fact is, I'm preaching to the choir, and I kind of hit rock bottom with my attitude towards people on last week's video. And as I rebounded from that, I was like, okay, this is not productive. I found the whole process of learning about it very informative and interesting, but me posting it does absolutely nothing to improve my position here. Right. So I just decided that I did it for my benefit. I I've got it in my hip pocket. I can talk about it in person with people now, but it wasn't worth it. I'm kind of up in the air on where I'm going to go, because the thing I realized this weekend when she was gone, I watched a video. Chase Hughes, as a matter of fact, had a video last week, and he pointed out how the algorithm is changing our lives. And I started looking at it, and I started looking at what YouTube was feeding me. And I literally spent 2 days purposely not watching anything that YouTube fed to me, because it was all politics and racial stuff. And I was like, nope, I don't want to do this. So I literally forced the algorithm to change over the weekend. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to obsess over this stuff anymore. I can't change anybody's mind. I am not going to change anybody's mind on their politics or their racial beliefs. And I'm not even going to try anymore. I appreciate what Charlie Kirk did, and I appreciate the people that picked up his mantle. I appreciate what they're doing. That's not me. I'm just going to wait. I stand by the idea that these two ideologies cannot exist in the same place at the same time forever, and something's going to pop, and I'm just going to sit back and wait for that to happen. And the difference between now and then is we used to live near the city or in the city, and it was a big concern when that pop was going to happen. I now live in a rural area, and it does not concern me as much. The biggest problem I'm going to have when that pops is probably intermittent electricity. Water's not going to be a problem, but it's going to be a challenge. It will be a challenge, but we're not going to die because of lack of water, and we're not going to die from lack of electricity either. You going to show them that?
Well, I thought maybe you would. I don't know, just the box maybe. And then show them what's coming up with it, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what she's doing, we signed up to be affiliates with somebody. I talked with the representative over several emails, and I looked this company up, and they got pretty good reviews. They sell on Amazon, and the only negative stuff I really saw about the company was things that affiliates said. And it was the typical affiliate stuff, complaints. There are people that sign up to be affiliates, and they have an unrealistic expectation. But so the company here.
I thought it was right on the front. Is it not? Epic Water.
So the company is Epic Water Filters, and you can go online and you can look about them. But we talked back and forth, and they sent us an under the counter filter system, and it's not a very big system.
No,
the
small.
filter's not very big, and they're relatively reasonably priced. So I am gonna do an unboxing video of this, and once we get the under the sink cleaned out, so I can get in there. There's way too much stuff in there. We need to start throwing stuff away or moving it someplace else.
Lexi and Fiona already did it. It's all cleaning supplies.
But once I get that cleaned out so I can install this, I'm going to do a quick install video, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. That's one thing, I do these things, and I make it crystal clear to these manufacturers that I'm not going to lie about it. You can send me something for free, and I'll test it out, but I'll
tell the truth.
I'll tell the honest to God truth about it.
And the funny thing about it, we're really going to be able to put this to the test, because we have very extremely hard water here. So
I think that's why the ice machine's not working. They need to get it
right. We need to get that cleaned and get that filter off. Yeah. So, but very, very hard water here. So we'll put it to the test, figure it out, see exactly how long it lasts. Won't take long at all.
See how long it takes for us to choke it out.
Right.
Choke it out like a crazy man on a subway. Be Mr. Daniel Penny on that thing.
Oh my God. Oh, anyway.
And I've got to do. Actually, I'm just going to do it here. So update. So when we first moved in here, we bought a LED light system solar light system from Premier One. It's just a little battery pack and a little solar panel and 2 LED lights, and it lasted roughly 2 years. It still functions when the sun's out and it's shiny, and in the daytime because it's getting direct power, but the battery pack quit working. I need to talk to Hacks or somebody that knows solar and see if I can splice those leads into just a regular battery with a controller on it, and see if that works, because the panel still works and the lights still work, but the battery pack's not functioning properly. So if you are looking at an LED solar light system just like for camping and something from Premier One, this would probably work for you. But if you're looking for something that's going to be in your feed building or your coop or your barn where the temperature's not controlled and it goes through cold, hot, it's probably not the thing for you. And it was it was only like $71 at the time. It was relatively inexpensive for what it was. So that's one of the things I'm gonna see if somebody can't help me design a proper solar system for the feed building and the chicken coop.
Gregory brings up a good question. High iron or other minerals? I'm sure there is. There's a lot.
Calcium.
Especially when I'm canning, the calcium is what's popping up. There could be other stuff in there. Maybe that's one thing we should do before we install this. We'll go ahead. I know that we've got pH testers here. So, and if not, we can get some.
Go get a test kit from the.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So we'll test the water and then get another one and test the water after we install the filter. Okay. That would be a really good idea. Thanks, Gregory. And then Lynn said there's enough cleaning supplies underneath his cabinet, under his sink, to last a decade. Yeah, that's it. Because you buy cleaning equipment.
That's just under the sink.
I got more in back.
Yeah, if we count all,
like I'm good for 100 years. But
the apocalypse comes, she's gonna have lots of time to clean.
I mean, like sanitation would be nothing here. Yeah. But part of the problem is you get those cleaning things that the agents say, oh, these are so good and they do this and they do that and blah, blah, blah. None of them live on a farm. And so there's no such thing as the perfect item. And so you buy it and then it doesn't work real well. So my go-to is under the sink. And then my daughter comes over, Fee comes over, and then next thing you know, they're cleaning out my sink. Mom, why do you have too many cleaning agents under here? Why do you have so much? And I'm like, because you never know when you're going to need it. I'm not going to throw it out. Just because it doesn't work today doesn't mean it's not going to be acceptable tomorrow. So, it's just one of those things. I don't know. Maybe a cleaning agent hoarder. I don't know.
You are.
It's possible.
Just need to. I consolidate stuff all the time because I find
not cleaning supplies.
I find the same type of cleaning supply, 4 bottles open at the same time, so I'll combine them all into one bottle.
I forget that I have them, and I think that I need more, so I'll go buy another one. That's what Lexi's like. You really need to stop, or daughter. And but I forget. I get to the store, and I'm like, oh, I need that, and so I pick it up. That's kind of what happens. Well, and then look what happened. I ran out of dish soap.
Yeah.
See, had somebody not clean underneath my sink, I would have
run out a lot. You would have run out a long time ago, and you would have gone and bought a new bottle, and we'd have 5 half-empty bottles instead of 1.
Maybe, but at least we wouldn't be out of dish soap.
Okay, you want to hear animal stories from you guys? Animal stories this week. Fancy, I let her off the lead. I went and shut the front gate. I cleaned out the greenhouse on Saturday. It was raining. So I said, I'm going to work inside the greenhouse. I'm going to get it ready for winter stuff. And I needed to do it. There was all kinds of, there were literal trees growing up the inside of the greenhouse because I didn't get in there at the end of summer. So I cut all the stuff out. I still got to finish cleaning it. But I let her off the lead, and she did great. I was out there for about 4 hours, and she did fantastic for about 3 hours and 45 minutes. And sometime in that last 15 minutes before I came in to eat lunch,
she was like, I'm bored.
She disappeared. She stayed in the front of the property. Every time I stuck my head out, she was there, and she just wagged her tail, and she was just enjoying it. And she took off down in the woods, and it was sprinkling when she took off, and it started raining a little bit. And she finally came back about 2 hours later and was sitting outside the front door waiting to let in. I was like, no, you're wet. You've been out running in the rain. I'm not letting you in. So I put her back on her chain. And then last night, this one let her off the chain inside the house. And that was we had to keep an eye on her.
She did okay.
She's still on probation because the first time we let her off,
She blessed my bed.
She promptly went in and peed on the bed.
I don't find it funny.
Well, that's why she's on probation, and that's why we keep her on a leash in the house. But the other two dogs were so jealous. It was starting to make me angry last night.
Yeah,
because they were so jealous that we were giving her the attention. I was flipping houses, all kinds of different problems. A little fix it. Then I'm left with most of a bottle over and over again. Absolutely. But no, and the I know where a lot of our eggs went this summer.
Where?
Fancy was sticking her nose in the comfrey bed, and there's a bed of chicken eggs in there.
Get out of here.
There's got to be 30 eggs in there. They were laying them in there for probably a good 2 months this summer.
Oh.
So I got to get in there and clean them out. I'm afraid to touch them, though, because they're going to probably pop on me.
Wait till they freeze. They'll be frozen by the end of the week.
It's not going to get that cold this next week.
They were saying 30 degrees and lower. Freezes at 32.
I don't remember him saying. Didn't hear him say that.
I don't know. I think I looked something up when I was flying in because I wasn't sure if I needed my jacket or not. So
yeah. So there's the problem with the chickens. There's still a turk and a couple of the white turkeys are still on the roof. The other ones are like, yeah, screw this rain. They decided they were going to sleep inside tonight. And then the little chick in the living room, she moved into a
bigger brooder,
into a proper brooder. She's out of the little crate.
She's not happy.
Yeah. Oh, and then I put one of those feeders where you've got the little slits that the chickens can stick their head in. Her head's so big she can't stick it through the slit to get down to the feed. So I had to open it,
which is ridiculous.
She was in there cheaping away, and I was like, "You've got food and you've got water." And I picked her up and held her, and she's grooving on that. I do that about once every other day. I pick her up and hold her for about 30 minutes. But her crop was empty, and I was like, okay, so that's why you're upset. And I went in there and I was like, okay, you don't know where your food is. So I tried forcing, like, how you take their head and you stick it down into the food and the water so they know where it is. Yeah, I couldn't get her head through the slot, and I said, well, that explains it. So I opened it up, and she spent about 5 minutes chirping away as she was eating, and she fell asleep right before we came in here.
25 tomorrow night.
I got to make sure I put
we got to get the spinach put up. I got to get that other plant, that tropical plant's got to come in. There's a lot. I won't be home because I got to stop by Sam's Club.
But
that's on you.
I don't know what tropical plant you're talking about.
I do. That one I can lift. I think. I don't know. The plane. So the one thing I learned, the compression in the plane is not great when your nerves are hyper. So I'm dealing with some stuff, but I'll get through it. It'll be fine. I just try to push through, and pain is pain, but can't let it stop.
Her sciatic nerve is acting up since she got back.
Of course, but remember, mine are crossed, so it's both legs.
Sitting on that plane probably did not help.
It did not help.
So how are the books coming along?
Cookbook and children's book. Cookbook. I got a lot going on.
Yeah,
so, I just got to get it typed up.
Close.
Yeah, all I have to do is type it up.
I've got 4. Yeah, I got 4 stories written. I got another.
Oh, I thought you had 6.
Well, the other ones are partially written.
No.
I'm not sure the community member that was talking about was going to try to illustrate them. She doesn't have time, so I'm like I said last week, I'm looking for another illustrator.
Did we get that story back? We're going to let her keep it because the kids like it.
She can keep it. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Okay. Just print out another one.
I don't care. But so I got to find an illustrator, and talking, like I said last week, talking with one of the community members' stepfather, that's going to have to figure out a payment method. They're going to have to take royalties on the work until it's paid off or something.
Well, you never know. You might talk to Jim because he might do it for that. I mean, I don't see that being a problem. You might talk to him. He's teaching, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, maybe you can get some students to do it.
Possibly. I would talk to Jet and see what.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're coming along. I haven't worked on the
Skane's Prairie Band. I'll do it for you. It'll be cheaper. So bring it over here, and then whatever you got on.
No, she can just.
Are they open Saturday? Yeah, but they're going to charge her more.
No, they won't.
He doesn't charge us what?
They charge us. Yes, they charge us exactly what they charge everybody else to fill.
Are you sure about that? Because we don't have the government discount.
No.
Positive about that.
Positive about it.
Okay. Well, then just take it to Prairie Band.
Yeah, and they are open on. They're open till noon on Saturday. Yeah, go ahead and
yes, please.
I didn't even think about Fiverr. I've looked at using Fiverr, but on other things, but I just never.
What's Fiverr?
Fiverr is a place where you go and you put this is what I need, and people will bid on it.
Oh.
On doing the job for you, and you get really inexpensive stuff done.
Okay.
A lot of them are Jeets, and
it's
just
pick your poison, dude.
Dealing with people from Indonesia and India, and
pick your poison
and all that. Just
pick your poison.
I know.
It's just like oh, I had to deal with blasphemy this weekend, so. And it does line up. So this week at Grandma's, there is a Last Supper painting in Grandpa's room. The Last Supper painting, I went in, everybody's like, you got to take this. It's so beautiful. You'll absolutely love it. And I was like, I think I've seen it. Yeah, it's really pretty, so I'll think about it. And
sure, it's a painting and not a print.
Positive. Okay. It's a painting. Oh, just wait. Okay. And so I go in and I'm like, well, let me go check this thing out, because it was odd to me that everybody, it was mostly the boys, were trying to figure out where to put the painting and who was going to take it home. Like nobody wanted the painting, which is super funny. They're all fighting over that, but they left some really good prints and that kind of thing up on the wall. And like, my name is on that. My name is on that. Because I remember Grandma was so proud of those. So Grandma went to Mexico City in 1964. And
the Olympics?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask Dad about that. But 1964.
And 68 Olympics. Anyway.
Okay, so then no, not for the Olympics, because it was 64. And so she picked up the Lord's Last Supper painting on velvet. Remember the old velvet paintings? It's like beautiful, and it's on there. And everybody's trying to put in everybody else's pile, sneaking it into everybody's cars, all of that. Sunday morning, I go over, try to make sure everybody's got breakfast, everybody can make it to church. What are we doing? XYZ, because I fly out Sunday afternoon. So I'm trying to figure out, make sure everybody's taken care of. So I get over there. And I come walking up the walkway, and I caught the corner of my eye, and I look over, and I have 4 maybe of the apostles waving at me. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I walk into the house, and I'm like, it is Sunday morning. You heathens. You guys, that is blasphemy what you have done. You put the Lord's Last Supper in the back of Ryan's Jeep. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Dad, Danny, everybody's like, what? What are you talking about? David was there, and they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Brian, my cousin Brian, comes walking around from the dining room, and he's cracking up laughing as I'm laying it out there because I'm so upset and irritated. And I'm like, Sunday morning, you guys did this. And I'm just kind of laying it out there, getting on to him. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. They all think I'm crazy. Brian's laughing. He's just cracking up laughing. And finally, I look at Brian. I go, did you do that? And on his shirt, Jesus is my savior. Yeah, he's getting ready to go to church. And so he's got that on. He put that painting in the back of Ryan's Jeep. He's got like a Jeep truck. Mm-hmm. And he put the painting in the back of there. Didn't even turn it around. So that you couldn't see what it was, and put it in there. And so I'm like, you bunch of turds. So then they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with it. So they put it in Aunt Vicky's pile. Aunt Vicky didn't take it. Well, then they tried to put it in Megan's pile. Megan didn't take it. So then they're like, what are we going to do with this? I have a feeling I'm going to go back there to get the rest of my stuff. And there may be the Last Supper on velvet.
We'll get it priced and sell it.
$55 on eBay. I looked it up. That's what Ryan said. Ryan's like, just take it home and sell it. Like, I don't think I can. It's blasphemy. Can you sell that stuff? I don't think you can. Only if I painted it.
Gregory wanted to know, is each one of your stories going to be in one book or a series? So
series.
I'm doing a series of children's books. Each one of them is going to be on a different moral story, a morality story. And the connecting thread through them all is they're all things that are based on something that's happened here on Grumpy Acres Farm. So it's going to be the Grumpy Acres Farm children's series.
They're super cute.
And so all the animals are going to be based off of animals that we've had here and
basically what the animals have done.
Yeah. And I'm just going to use them as the basis for telling morality tales.
Yeah. Super cute.
So,
Was the Lord playing cards or poker with the dogs? No, this is 1964. So it was the Lord's Supper. This is what I'm saying. This is like blasphemy.
It was just a Mexican painting on velvet version of Michelangelo's Last Supper.
And I'm just like floored by what they're doing. It's so like if it was dogs playing poker, if it, God had cards going out, okay, totally get it. My grandmother would never buy something like that, but because she was a good Christian, she didn't mess around like that. And so it was just kind of interesting that they would do that, and the boys that were doing that bothered me a little bit. But
okay, it's almost 9:30.
Oh, it's time to go. I got work to do.
Yeah,
I got a half hour to clean. It's probably going to take me an hour and a half, and you're going to have to pick me up off the floor.
I'm still trying to catch up on sleep. I missed Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole theme this week that you take away that try to take something away from this week. I was talking with Darren this morning, and I'm handling vehicle issues that 4 years ago I would have been calling our mechanic if we lived back in Pleasant Hill.
Darren's taught you a lot.
And so I'm able to handle these things on my own now. And so modern self-sufficiency, that's one of the things we're going for. The harvesting the veggies.
Fall garden's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, having a fall. It's the first time we've had a fall garden.
He was like, I don't think we can get that to grow. And I'm like, I think we can.
So, the modern self-sufficiency, the food independence, the being involved locally, these are all things that everybody needs to be doing. Just know that if we can do it, you guys can do it. And we are not anything special here.
No, we do it by accident.
A lot of things
by accident.
All the zucchini that was grown were supposed to be pumpkins. The vet tells you anything.
Yeah.
But we know we've got a good genetic crop.
Zucchini bread forever. So I'm good with that. I do need to get some made. Thanksgiving's coming up. You have some coworkers asking for that. I saw some out there that are prime for that. So super excited and get that done. I just need to sleep and get some rest.
And I was actually giving serious thought. I was running the scenarios through my head. Okay, how would I handle this? What if she gets to Denver and all the planes stop moving? How do we go about getting her home?
That was almost a possibility.
Yeah. And so I started running through. If you were in California and it all stopped,
I'd be on my own.
Good thing you were with family. Seriously.
No, it's not a good thing I was with family.
It would.
No, I'm not sure about that, but no, because Johnny Horton's book, Jeff said I could have it if him and Kathy and they could come here when the apocalypse happened, and I was like, sure. And then he gave it to Joshua. So now his spot's filled. He can't come here. Of course you can.
They made 30 pints of green tomato relish on Sunday.
Nice. Yeah, we've got some green tomatoes. I can go pull off and do that. I'm not sure if we're going to do relish.
It's going to freeze.
Well, I mean,
we still got 3 cases of stuff from the class last Sunday sitting on the table, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it.
Oh no, you want to do a giveaway for the apple butter? Just one. You can give 2 away. I'll ship them. I don't care. You want to do that?
Yeah, we do that next week.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to do
we can do that. We'll do a giveaway.
It's late.
Yeah. We'll do giveaway on it.
Send somebody some homemade apple butter.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But, all right, guys. Well, with all that in mind, Sunhacks
zucchini chocolate cake. All right. All right.
You make chocolate.
Little addictive man.
But, hey, by the way, guys, say a little prayer for Hacks, please.
Yeah.
He had some medical issues last week.
He's pulling through. He's doing really strong right now.
Yeah.
So we're super excited.
Just say a little prayer. Just say a little prayer.
Yeah.
For him, so that he's got comfort and he makes it home okay.
So this has been kept private, and so it doesn't need to be publicly.
No, we're not
spewed. I wouldn't have even probably said what you said, but it's very private.
They need to say, I'm asking them to say prayer.
Yeah, prayers are welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, prayers are welcome. And especially for peace with the loved ones, that'll help too.
Peace with the who?
Loved ones. Oh. So for the loved ones, a lot of stress. So
a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And say a prayer for anybody that's going through problems.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep. That's what we're all here for. Yeah. Help each other out.
Okay. With that said, you guys, thanks for showing up. If you've made it this far and you're not a subscriber, think about subscribing to the channel. If you don't want to, fine, I don't care. No, seriously, I don't care anymore.
Pirates and pilgrims.
Yeah. But you guys go out this next week and just grab the next week with both hands and strangle whatever you can out of it. Just squeeze whatever you can out of it and just make your life as the best life you can live. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything you want to say?
Yeah. Be at least 10% better tomorrow than you were today.
No more, no less.
And until next time.
You cannot be 11%. You cannot be 9%. Must be 10%.
Be over 10% better than what you were today. And until next time, go live a life done free.
Right,
love y'all.
Take care, everybody.
Introducing Rockpot, the revolutionary portable slow-cooking appliance that keeps your meals warm for over 9 hours without the need for electricity or propane. Simply heat the Rock tablet on your stovetop or over a fire, place it in the Rockpot with your ingredients, and enjoy perfectly cooked meals wherever you are. Plus, the exterior remains cool to the touch, ensuring safe handling on all your adventures. Get $10 off your first purchase by clicking on the affiliate link and using the code GrumpyAcres at checkout. Elevate your outdoor cooking experience with Rockpot today.